Well, very good afternoon, students. Now, today it is 20th April, Monday. Uh, I have sent you some informations regarding the structure of bacteria and different classification systems and all this. Now, today we are just going to simply discuss the flagella. Actually, very important flagella, how it is moving and what are the differences between the flagella and the pili. These are very important, as you all know that last time when I was talking about that what are the basic surface appendages. I want to repeat them again. It is flagella as well as the pili and fimbriae. Now these are the three components which we find that flagella, pili and fimbriae, they are the very important components for the surface appendages. So this already we have studied in our last lecture. Flagella, you all very well know what is flagella. Flagella are the filamentous structures. Flagella are the filamentous structures which are attached to the cell surface. Flagella are composed of the protein flagellum. Then when we come to the pili or fimbriae, what are fimbriae and pili? They are the, like pili, these are the short ones. Okay, these pili are the actually longer ones. They are the short actually hair-like structures, and on the, if you see, these small ones are the short structures. So they are what? They are hair-like structures on the surface of the bacterial cells. So fimbriae are shorter and stiffer than flagella. They are shorter and stiffer than flagella, and slightly they are smaller in the diameter. And pili are composed of protein pilin. So this we have, I think if you see the last lectures, you will find that I have already explained this, all of them, and I will just now try to deal with other important aspect of this flagella. Now this also we have done last time, but again I wanted to repeat it, that different types of flagella, what are the different types of flagellar arrangement actually, what are the different flagellal arrangements. So you can see here, flagella, they, what are flagella? Basically flagella, they impart the motility to the bacterial cells. Okay, and the flagellated bacterial cells are often termed as trichous, and non-flagellated cells are atrichous. Okay, so the trichous cells differ from one to another with respect to the flagellar arrangement or the flagellation. Now we are seeing here, no, we can see here this flagellar arrangement is called the, this is the, actually it differs because so there are many categories, in 6 categories. You know, this is monotrichous with a single polar flagellum at one end only. Then just example, you can say it is Xanthomonas. Now we come to amphitrichous, bacterium with single flagellum at both the polar ends. Now this is called as amphitrichous. Then third is cephalotrichous, bacterium with several tufts flagella at one polar end only. It is at the one polar end only, that is Pseudomonas fluorescens. Okay. Now we come to the fourth, Lophotrichous. This Lophotrichous, if you see, that bacterium with the several tuft flagella at the both the polar ends. This type of, we can see the example is Spirillum. Now we come to the fifth type, bacteria with the lateral flagellum at one side or both side. Okay, so this we can see in what? Agrobacterium. Now then we come to sixth is Peritrichous. In Peritrichous, flagella are arranged on the all the sides of the bacterial cell. So the example is Erwinia and Pontoia. So this I am just again repeating the same which I have spoken in the last lecture, flagellar arrangement. Now if we come to the structure of bacterial flagella, actually the structure of bacterial flagella, it is composed of four very important main structural units. What are those structural units? Now this is a filament. We'll see here, if we can see here actually clearly, that there is a R is a rod, F is a filament, H is a hook, and LPS is the lipopolysaccharide layer, actually flagellar layer, which is located at the lipopolysaccharide layer. Then peptidoglycan layer, periplasmic space, cytoplasmic membrane. So this we are seeing that in gram positive the L and P rings are not available. So if we see here, if we see this diagram, in this diagram we find this is the flagellar structure of the gram negative bacteria. So the rod is, you can very well see which is the rod. This is a rod, okay. This is the rod. Then where is the filament? Where is the filament actually? Then we can find out that filament is the here it is the filament. This is the filament, okay. This is the filament. F is equal to filament. Then what is this? This is the hook. See, in nature how well they have, see, we can't see this, but how the flagellar structure has been well planned, well been structured, and how different layers are there. There are rings to support them, and this allows there for the movement. Actually all this is actually for the movement. So I was trying to explain you here that how what is a filament. It consists of two components, namely slender non-proteinaceous core and beads-like proteinaceous subfibrils, the core which are arranged helically into left-handed helix. The diameter of flagellum, actually the diameter of the full this structure is 10 to 12 nanometer, and the diameter of subfibril is 3.3 to 5.6 nanometer. Now the subfibril is consisting of protein and the flagellum. Now because it is I wanted to deal it, I think I have also spoken in the last lecture also, if you see there also, and generally the molecular weight of this is 30,000 to 40,000 daltons. Now the flagellin is a protein. It is synthesized in this particular structure only, and the flagellin contains high amount of acidic amino acids and low amount of aromatic amino acid. Flagellin is an incomplete protein containing only 14 amino acids. It lacks some important essential amino acids which are histidine, proline and trypsin. Now the flagellin amino acid composition varies with the species of bacteria. So this is also one of the characters. Thus genes encoding flagellin are used as markers for species identification. Now the growth of the flagellar development is very fast. It is very fast, and sometimes it is 0.5 microM in 1 minute, and it takes 1 to 12 minutes to attain the full length. Now when we were seeing this hook, actually this hook connects the outer filament and the basal body. This hook is slightly wider than the filament. This hook is slightly wider than the filament. This is about 45 nanometer long and consists of different proteins. The hook of gram-positive bacterial flagella is generally long. The gram-positive bacteria, it is generally long than the hook of the gram-negative bacterium. Now, rod R, it connects hook to the basal body. Rod R connects the hook to the basal body. Now, the basal body consists of the ring. Actually, the basal body consists of layers of rings which are inserted. These are the layers of the rings. Now these layers of the rings, they are inserted, there are 4 rings through which the rod gets inserted. The rings are named after the cell walls in which it is located. So rings are named after the cell wall layers in which it is inserted. You can see very well in this diagram 1, 2, 3, 4, L, P, S, M. Okay, lipopolysaccharide and leptopyr. This is actually lipopolysaccharide ring. P ring is at the P ring. Here we see P ring. P ring is at peptidoglycan layer. S ring is at periplasmic space. S ring as it periplasmic space. And L ring, sorry, it is located at the lipopolysaccharide layer. L ring is located at the lipopolysaccharide layer. P ring is attached at the peptidoglycan. Again I repeat, L ring is at the lipopolysaccharide layer, P is at the peptidoglycan layer, S ring is at periplasmic space, and M ring is at the cytoplasmic membrane. So this you can explain very nicely, and this is actually the diagram for the gram negative bacterium. But in gram positive bacterium, this L and P layers are not present. Okay. So depending on the role in the movements, S and M ring is differently referred as rotor according to the role actually. what is their role? So this S and M ring is differently referred as rotor, which imparts rotating function. S and please see this S and M ring is differently referred as rotor, ROTOR, which imparts rotating function, and stator is the stationary part of a motor. The L and P rings mainly acts as a hold fast organ to support the long rod of flagella. In case of gram-positive bacteria, the L and P rings are not required because the ring multilayer murine provides sufficient support to the flagellar rock. So there is a difference in the gram-negative and gram-positive bacterium. Now this is, I was talking about the flagellar movement. The structure, actually the complete structure of the bacterial flagella. Now when we are talking about the bacterial flagellum, this is another very important aspect you all have to understand. This is actually the direction of movement of bacterial cells are indicated by the dotted arrow, as affected by the anti-clockwise rotation of flagellum indicated by arrow, and clockwise rotation of bacterial body indicated by arrows surrounding the cell body. Okay, in different types of flagellation, these are the different types of flagellation. They are being, see how these are the different types of flagella. So different types of rotation and movement are shown. So this is anti-clockwise, this is clockwise. You can see in different flagellar structure how it is shown. The change in the direction of the flagellar rotation in case of Peritrichus bacteria after tumbling induces changes in the direction of movement. So after tumbling, that there is a change of the direction of the movement. Now the bacterial flagella are powered by proton motive force. What is it known as? Chemiosmotic potential, which is established on the bacterial membrane rather than the ATP hydrolysis, which powers eukaryotic flagella and cilia. So this is another part of the flagellar movement, and which you can see here in the diagram. You can see, and the explanation you can read that I can speak out the explanation that bacterial flagella, they are powered by proton motive force, which are established on the bacterial membrane rather than ATP hydrolysis, which powers eukaryotic flagella and cilia. The flagellar filament is rotated by a motor apparatus in the plasma membrane. The flagellar filament is rotated by a motor apparatus in the plasma membrane. The motor has two parts, rotor and stator. I already explained you in the last diagram that it is these two, they behave like a rotor and the stator based on the role. So it is now well established that flagellar motor function is provided by S and M rings. These are the two essential rings for the flagellar movement. S ring serves as a stator and M ring serves as a rotor. S is the supermembrane and M is the membrane ring. Okay, S is the supermembrane and M is the membrane ring. So the recent theory explains that the flagella are like a semi-rigid helical. These flagella are these all flagella are the semi-rigid helical rotors, which is capable of spinning around its long axis. They are capable of spinning, actually. They are capable of spinning. You can see how the movements are seen. This is the anti and this is a clockwise movement. You can see very well the movements, and either clockwise or anti-clockwise along its axis. Each flagellum rotates in a counterclockwise direction and pushes the bacteria. In Lopotrichus flagellation, the flagellal cluster, in the Lopotrichus, what happens in Lopotrichus? Now, if you see in Lopotrichus, this fourth one, okay, in the Lopotrichus, flagellation, what happens? The flagella cluster together and rotate as a single bundle. They will rotate as a single bundle. In Peritrichus flagellation, the bacteria will swim in straight line for some time, then they stop abruptly and change their direction. Then they will change the direction. This phenomenon known as tumbling. Now, tumbling occurs due to the change in the direction of rotation from counterclockwise to clockwise rotation. In case of Spirilla, the two polar tufts of flagella, they rotate in the same direction and they never tumble. In endoflagellated bacterial like the spirochetes, the flagellar axial filaments are embedded into sheath which is located between the cell membrane and the cell wall. So these are the different different flagellar arrangements have the different direction of the movement, the way of the movement, and this is all you can study, and you can very well understand the direction of how the direction of the movement of the bacterial cell is being governed by the movement of the flagella. And the bacteria, they may there is another very important phenomenon, chemotaxis. This chemotaxis refers to the movement of bacterium in response to the quantity or quality of certain chemicals. Now these chemostimulants may be useful nutrients or harmful substances. The bacteria sometimes they swim towards the direction of chemicals which are also called as attractants, which are useful for them, and while they move away from the harmful substances, then they are called as repellents. A same chemical may act as a repellent, and other chemical may act as a repellent also, as a attractant also. Then phototaxis movement is actually these movements are governed by different factors. Phototaxis is the movement found in the photosynthetic bacteria and towards the gradients of light intensity. Then aerotaxis is the movement of the bacteria is in response to the molecular oxygen, this molecular oxygen will function as a stimuli. So the movement is actually either it may be aerotaxis, it may be phototaxis, it may be chemotaxis, it may be different for environmental stimuli, they may be able to move, and how. So see how beautifully in nature this whole structures, the bacterial flagella has been structured. So I have just discussed about this. Now we come to some another important aspect, that what are the difference between the flagella and pili. Okay. So now definition, you know what is flagella? Flagella are long whip-like helical appendages that protrude from through the cell membrane. Okay. Then what are pili? Pili are the hollow non-helical filamentous appendages that protrude from the surface of cell. Now the difference of the structure, they are helical but not straight. What are helical? Flagella are helical, they are helical but not straight, and pili are straight, not helical. Then third, if we see the length, they are long whip-like, the flagella are long whip-like, and pili are short and hair-like. Thickness, they are comparatively thicker than the pili. They are thinner than the flagella, 3 to 10 nanometer in diameter. Then coming to number, they are lesser than pili, they are numerous. Occurrence may be polar or lateral or peritrichous throughout the surface of the cell. They are found in both the gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria, but they are found only in gram-negative bacteria. Means the pili are found only in the gram-negative bacteria. Then made up of flagellin protein. This is made of pilin protein. It is attached to the cell wall. Flagella is attached to the cell wall? No. But pili is attached to the cell wall. Origin, it is from the cytoplasmic membrane, it is from the cell wall membrane. Or flagella is attached to the cytoplasmic membrane, and pili is attached to the cell wall. Organ of adhesion, it is absent here but present in pili. Required for conjugation? No, but pili is required for conjugation. There are three types of flagella: bacterial, eukaryotic and archaeal. There are two types, conjugative and type 4. Function, for the flagella, they are responsible for motility but can also be used to sense certain temperature and chemicals or metals. And what about pili? They are responsible for attachment, transfer of DNA to other cell during bacterial conjugation, that is the genetic exchange. Okay. Also perform the motility. 16 is the motion. It is wave-like, undulating, sinusoidal, then rotation much like a propeller of a boat motor. It is stretching motility performs by type 4 pili. Example, Salmonella, and here it is Pseudomonas. There are many examples you can see there. Now let's come to the two other structures. What are the fimbria and pili? They are the filamentous structure which are composed of protein that extend from the surface of a cell and can have many functions. So fimbria are found in the gram-negative as well as the gram-positive bacteria, but they are shorter in length as compared to pili. Pili are longer than fimbria and there are only few per cell. Fimbria are found in gram-negative as well as the gram-positive bacteria but are shorter in length as compared to pili. Pili are longer than fimbria and there are only few per cell. Now what are the, you can see this fimbria, cell wall, circular from here, how this pilus is coming from, and how this fimbriae is coming from, and for how the flagella is coming from the surface. You can see from here. This is the sex pilus and this is the fimbriae. So this diagram is very clear. So now what are the differences between the fimbriae and pili? Fimbriae are tiny bristle-like fibers which are arising from the surface of bacterial cells. What are fimbriae? Fimbriae are tiny bristle-like fibers arising from the surface of bacterial cells. Then what are pili? Pili are hair-like microfibers that are thick tubular structure made of pilin. So you can see very well here. Here the fimbriae and here the pili. Okay. Now we come to the length. They are shorter than pili, they are longer than fimbriae, diameter thin, thicker than fimbriae. Number of fimbriae are 200 to 400 per cell, but number of pili are less than 1 to 10%. Here the fimbrialin's protein and here is the pilin protein. Rigidity, it is a less rigid, it is more rigid than fimbriae. It is found in both gram positive and gram negative bacteria. It is only in the gram negative bacteria. Formation is governed by bacterial gene, is governed by plasmid genes. In the function, it is responsible for cell to surface attachment, specialized for attachment that is enable the cell to adhere to the surfaces of the bacteria. Here it is responsible for bacterial conjugation. Two basic function of pili, they are gene transfer and attachment. Motility, they do not function in active motility. Type 4 pili shows twitching type of motility. Receptors, no receptors of other. Then here they serve as receptor for certain viruses. They are not receptor for any other microorganism. They are examples: Salmonella, Typhimurium and Shigella. Here it is Escherichia coli. Many other examples. Fimbriae is to attach the intestine, then produce a toxin that causes diarrhea. Neisseria gonorrhea, the cause of gonorrhea, uses pili to attach to the urogenital and cervical epithelium when it causes disease. So we are through with the flagellar movement, the flagellar structures, the different movements, how the different structures, arrangements, how they are moving, how they are doing, and how they are being attracted, and this whole movement. So please, you can also read the differences also, that will help you to understand also the different structures, because from these smaller structures, when we will be able to understand now surface appendages. I think I have completed my whole chapter on the surface appendages, which was actually based for the flagella, pili or fimbriae, and we are through with this chapter. Now we will be further dealing actually, which is another very important aspect. Actually, I wanted to just finish off first the surface appendages. So to understand, now we will understand the another structure of bacteria, which is cell envelope, and this cell envelope, you very well know, is composed of cytoplasmic membrane, cell wall, capsule or slime layer, but this will deal later. Okay, thank you very much. Stay home, stay safe, stay healthy, and best wishes to all of you. Thank you.